Okay, so the last bit really obviously is the water, and it's how you want to kind of record the water in a way, and this is entirely up to you. So you can kind of make a smooth transition over from one colour to another. But we tend to get the reflection over the top of a base colour. So I'd be looking at, which base colour do you want to use? And then I would say we're going back to kind of a normal method where we use like more of a mid-tone to get those colours in. So I'm going to think about, probably I'm going to use like like a light lilac-y one, and then I'll put a yellow highlight on over there. So I'm just going to find a colour, but any colour you want to, you go for. So let's see, let's try this one. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I've got a bit of yellow in there. And I did use a bit of pink with my yellow. Make sure that's okay. Maybe put a bit more pink in it. I think I've used the other lilac-y one. Oh, it's there. There we go. Right. And because of the water, the way the water goes, you can literally get a really nice line by using a flat brush. Kind of use it to your advantage, really. Follow this line all the way, backwards and forwards like that. Just makes it just makes it quite a nice smooth. And then over this side, I'm going to go for more yellow. But again, you could even weave in a little bit of yellow or a little bit of lilac. Just got to be careful it doesn't turn, you've not got too much of a mix, but a little bit of because it can be a bit more blue based, it can go a bit of a funny colour. But I've just got some pinks now. And this is the other thing, go to colour, use colour to your heart's desire in this. So I'm going to overlap that yellow a bit. There we go. And then from there, I really would just look. There's a little bit of a line underneath where we get shadow, where it's kind of underneath that bank there of cloud. So I'm just going to go in and put a look at to compare. It's brightish, but it's just slightly more muted than this pink here. So I'm going to go in with a bit of pink. Just mute it down with a tiny bit of that yellow, that cadmium yellow. I have to move that out of the way. Just to get that lovely, just makes it feel like we're at the edge. And you don't have to do that. It doesn't have to be a full line. You can break it up a little bit. It just kind of shows us that we have got we are kind of where there is a horizon up there. And then I've just looked at the darker one here. So again, just going in, I've got just going with a little bit of violetty colour there. It's a bit too bright. We can mute anything down with a bit of a tint. Kind of transitions across to this pinky one. And then just looking really at where the reflections are. So I'd put, just pop those in. So I'm going for this bright yellow with a bit of white probably in there. It's always slightly more muted than in the sky, not quite as bright. So I'm just going to pop a bit of a tint in with it. But then just follow underneath where we can see it. And again, you can get some nice lines and things in there then, because that's the way the water works, doesn't it? You've got this. And then I would just weave in just a little bit of another colour through there. Whilst it's still damp, you can kind of just blend that in. Add some more brightness between it if I want to as well, if it's not quite Right, so and then the same over this side. So I'm kind of looking. I think I'm going to go in with this Naples yellow actually, 'cause it's a little bit more subdued. Bit of Naples yellow and a bit of white again, just in between. So yeah, probably more white actually. I'm looking, but again, we're just mixing up, aren't we? Seeing where it goes. So let's move that back in. I'll move my palette out where it's, there we go. So it's still kind of quite yellowy, I'm finding in here. So I'm just going to go in just where these highlights are. And again, you know, you can soften that down a bit with your finger even if you want to. And I'm just following where I can see those lighter areas. Just pop them in. And again, you know, quite nice to have some of those kind of rippled effects, isn't it? That we get. It's very still, but it just, we get a bit of the highlight there. And a bit more of that back in there. And then if there's any other dark areas you want to pop in, if you think, oh, well, I actually just want a little bit of a little contrast in there, then by all means just work that in. I'm going to pop a tiny bit of kind of a blue base colour in, but very lightly. Just a note here and there. Just gives a bit of a shadow. But again, you can soften those down even if you want to. And then if there's any real highlighted areas, that's where I would go in and, you know, make your tint much lighter. So I think I've got a tiny bit under that cloud there. But I think it's quite a smooth, it's quite you know, quite a subtle picture, isn't it? With not too much kind of, the brightness is really in the middle here. So I might go back there and just go, okay, is there anything I need to add? I want to brighten up a little bit more, for example. Just make that really pop. Bit over here. Bit. Yeah, it's really lovely, isn't it? So it's just a really nice one to do, and I hope that's been really helpful for you. I think one of the biggest things I would say is what you do need to do is have some distance between it, because we've got so much, you know, there's so much going on and lots of bright colours. So, you know, definitely have I took this tape off here. Have a hold, put it on a mantelpiece and come back to it and look tomorrow, because when you're really working into things, sometimes you can't really see the true effect until the next, you know, until the next day, until you had some distance between it. But it's just lovely, and every sky that you approach now, you'll be looking what's behind, what's in front, how am I going to layer that. It's a really good thinking process. Really engages our brain, as well as just the enjoyment side and the having a go, and you know, it's lovely. So I hope that's been really helpful for you tonight. Well, I'll leave it there for the final pause and come back to everybody.